Friday's footy news here on afl.com.au. Hello everyone, Matt Thompson with you alongside Lions triple premiership superstar Chris Johnson. Chris, thanks so much for being with us.
Happy to be here, mate.
It is all about the finals, and that's why you are here to talk us through game by game. It all starts tonight. Finally, the wait is over. Collingwood and Hawthorn at the MCG. This is the big one. Everyone's been talking about this match. What do you reckon? Where's it going to be won and lost?
Look, it's going to be a great contest, and obviously Hawthorn have been the form team going around at the moment, and certainly there's going to be one who's going to score the most. And I think Hawthorn have been able to show us that they can put the scoreboard on the board. It's just going to be whether Collingwood are going to be able to defend that.
The loss of Guerra is obviously huge. Alice, we see, come into the team, and Young is out as well, which is a bit of a surprise.
Look, there's two guys that can really kick the ball and have great penetration out of that back half, and Alice on the wing as well. So they're going to be sorely missed, but the guys coming in are going to replace them quite easily. Dawes playing for Collingwood, is that the right call? Yeah, I think so. I think they just can't allow Maxwell to come in and be that second string ruckman. They need another toy in there, and Dawes is the guy that's done that all year. And look, he's had the week off. He might be fresh and ready to go again mentally, but more physically as well.
And in terms of players to watch, we're pumping up on the website right now the shootout at either end, Cloak versus Buddy. Is that what it comes down to ultimately?
Look, I think it is. It's who can get on top of their opponent and how many different defenders they can possibly wreak havoc with. And I think if those two guys have got their kicking boots on, and certainly we're going to see a shootout from both of them. And whichever one can get up on the night is obviously going to help their team to go further into the finals.
Saturday afternoon at Amy Stadium, Adelaide and Sydney. The home advantage so crucial here, and it was pretty close as to who was going to get the home ground advantage. Do you think that really gives Adelaide a big chance to knock off the Swans?
Oh, it does. Playing at home final in front of your home crowd gives you a massive advantage, but certainly the Swans are a great side to come against and do an upset as well. So really looking forward to that contest. And, such a young group. They've come a long way, Adelaide Crows, but the Swans won't go down without a fight, that's for sure.
The players to watch for both teams here?
Yeah, I guess Goods is one that's had an ordinary week, or ordinary couple of weeks. If he can get up and get form, he'll have 3 or 4 players come with him. And obviously, Tyler Walker is the guy that's to look out for Adelaide. He's been out back in the side. If he can, they're a bit thin in the defence at the moment, the Swans. So if he can get up and kick a couple of goals, I think he's a guy to watch, and he's going to bust his finals series open, I think.
All right, the first elimination final is on Saturday night, and that, of course, is Geelong and Fremantle at the MCG. Freo have never actually won a final outside of Perth. It's a very tough task for them coming to take on the Cats in Melbourne.
Yeah, especially at the MCG. They haven't played much football there, and it's a massive task for them to come all the way over and play a team that just loves September action. And Geelong have shown it when people have written them off, they're able to come back, and their players are so used to being involved in high-pressure games and with a lot of attention on it. So I think Geelong is going to have a pretty good game against Fremantle this week.
No McFarlane for Freo and no Johnson for Geelong. Which is the bigger out, do you think?
Yeah, look, McFarlane is certainly big out defensive terms for Fremantle, not to be able to take Hawkins, but certainly Johnson can play up forward in the midfield, and certainly he's a barometer, and his freakish ability to bust games open. He's one guy that will be sorely missed, and I think he's probably the key to Geelong. Not having that player that goes around and takes a tagging role and takes them away from their game plan in Fremantle.
Just quickly, the players to watch for both teams here?
I guess, you can never go past, big Sanderlands for Fremantle. If he gets his hand on it and gets around the ground, no one's going to be able to go with him. I think Chapman, I think he's their barometer, and Kelly as well at Geelong. I think if those two guys are standing up, a lot of other guys follow with them, and they're able to put their game plan together, and they're able to execute it quite well.
And the final match of the weekend, we head across to Perth with West Coast hosting North Melbourne. Fremantle's challenge coming to Melbourne, the Kangaroos going to Perth. It's an enormous task. They don't get the opportunity to train on Subiaco Oval. Is it an impossible task, Chris?
Look, it is impossible, but we know the Shimbonas are sort of a war cry, and they always play down that what their chances are to win, and they'd be loving it. Everyone talking West Coast up and not talking them up, and they're going to have their job cut out for them. Going over there, hot conditions too. The reports are it's going to be 27, 28 degrees, so they're really going to have to have their work cut out. They're going to have to play their best footy to be competitive.
If the Eagles win this, are they actually flag contenders, though?
Oh, for sure. I think going over there, playing at home, but they've got to be able to bring it here. We've seen them last week against Hawthorn. They weren't able to string things together. They were winning the tap-outs, but just weren't winning the clearances.
All right, the players to watch here?
I think Nick Naitanui and obviously Cox and the midfielders around that, if they can get that combination going in September, they're going to be very lethal. If Cox and Nick Naitanui can get it in the hands of Kerr, Pritis, Mast, these types, I think they're going to be very dangerous.
Chris, thanks very much for your time.
My pleasure, mate.
And that is the very latest footy news here on AFL.com.au. It is all about the games. Bring it on.